All right, good afternoon. Welcome to the 12 News Connected Desk. I'm Keith Grant. We have a better look at Thanksgiving travel. Of course, we know that travel too is probably going to be all right.
Yes.
We're more worried about anyone having weekend plans, maybe to travel back. Maybe you're having Thanksgiving this weekend instead.
Yeah, you know, a lot of people are coming home Saturday, you know, to give their day of Sunday a rest and get ready for the new week. But unfortunately, we're looking at some deja vu to a couple years ago where travel Thanksgiving week was great, but then coming home was messy for a lot of people. And that's going to be the case this year as well. So let's dive right in, Keith, because there's so much to talk about. Tomorrow, going to be gray and chilly. We had a pretty strong cold front make its way through Kansas. You can feel the strong northwesterly winds we have right now. That's bringing a chilly day tomorrow. But by Thursday, Thanksgiving Day, we're going to see a gorgeous one across the Sunflower State. But then this weekend, Friday night into Saturday, another storm system taking aim on Kansas. But here's a look before we dive into that system. Those current wind gusts 2:06 p.m. If you happen to catch this a little bit later, widespread gusts at 35 to 45 miles an hour. So definitely a both hands on the wheel kind of day. But that's bringing in some chillier weather. So those feels like temps Goodland only at 33 right now. The freezing mark in Colby 57. Here in Wichita, so we're still relatively mild here in South Central, but as you can see off to our northwest, that chillier air is headed our way. So overnight tonight, the wind's backing off. We'll have increasing cloud cover. Chilly start to your Wednesday. Overnight lows down into the teens and 20s across the state, but much less wind tomorrow. And then we're going to remain mainly cloudy with cloudy skies heading into Wednesday evening and those chilly temperatures. But by Thanksgiving, high pressure will start building in, and that's going to allow for mainly sunny skies and those highs into the upper 40s and lower 50s. So overall, your turkey day looking great for spending time with your loved ones. But then here we go. Late Friday night, but mainly into Saturday, we'll have a strong area of low pressure developing, and this is bringing some Arctic air into the Sunflower State. And we're going to take a look at those temperatures here in a second. We'll start off with scattered showers, perhaps some rumbles of thunder for south central and southeastern Kansas. And then what we're trying to fine tune right now is how fast is that cold air going to make it in. Kind of like what we have right now. The cold front's already pushed through in Wichita, but the cold air is delayed a little bit. So we're still relatively mild, right? We just saw that feels like temperature of 57. That's going to be the case this weekend. If the cold air is right with the cold front, which it very well may be, models struggle with how fast Arctic air moves. It's so shallow, and usually the cold air overperforms, and that's why we're kind of leaning with this rain-snow mix across Kansas. And you can see here, if I had to say right now, this answer is going to change tomorrow, of course, because we're 4 days out. But if I had to say right now, the highest travel impacts would likely be the I-70 corridor, north central into northeastern Kansas. But regardless of where you're at, even if we have any bit of rain and snow coming down, we're also going to have some stronger northerly winds. So here's a breakdown of our confidence levels. The track in that medium range now, timing also medium, but the precip type is still pretty low. I'm thinking mainly rain for us here in Wichita, and then maybe a rain-snow mix into Saturday. But northern Kansas likely starting off with some showers and changing over to some rain. And then behind the system Sunday, the second half of your weekend, will be dry, but those are potential high temperatures across the state. Those aren't overnight lows. Those are going to be the actual air temperatures, 20s and lower 30s. But when you factor in the stronger winds from the north, it could be feeling much chillier than that. We're talking feels like temperatures into the teens. So here's a little recap of what's on the way. Gray and chilly tomorrow, nice Thanksgiving, great travel the next couple of days, but messy weekend system that could impact your travel plans coming back to Kansas.
It looks like Sunday, if it's cold, that means the snow's going to stick around if we do get snow on Saturday.
Yeah, some areas get snow. Then temperatures will be even colder, you know, and it'll take a while to accumulate. We also have to factor in our ground temperatures are pretty warm. You know, we've had a unusually warm November, so it'll take several hours before any snow even starts to accumulate. That's why we're pretty certain that here in Wichita, we're mainly just going to see a wintry mix Saturday morning, but better chances for possible accumulation in northern Kansas.
Okay, all right, perfect. Thank you, Adrian. That's all we've got right now. Be sure to join us for 12 News starting at 4.